What's up, guys? Time to show off my buddy Mike and his dad's new watches. He had a tattoo remastered a little bit so that I could have Neon John to make me a couple dials. So, tattoo, I believe it was his tattoo, was kind of based off of his dad's that he had a long time ago and wanted him on some watches. So what we've got is some screen printed dials that I then backside loomed. Did a custom silver set of Moldova hands and had a really cool new seconds hand I hadn't worked with yet. They had the little red dot and I thought would go perfect with this little devil. So brushed case, brushed engineered band. We have a small coin bezel with a DLW white ceramic minute insert, milled crown, solid milled case back with the anchor back here, and then just a nice brushed clasp with a little BBW on there. And that actually is the build. We kept it nice and simple, where the dial itself could be the pop, and then the bezel insert, it's a little bit of a pop too, flows with it nicely. For reference on the loom, essentially these holes are drilled out and then we just loom from the backside. Keeps the dial nice and clean. And we've done 2 of these. So one thing I mentioned to him before, and I forgot to get into it with him again, I have 2 of these. A lot of the stuff I had for this watch I had 2 of. Nylon isn't the right word. Rubber, is rubber the right word? I don't know what the right word is. These have quick disconnects as well. So if it's super hot out, you don't want to be sweating in your watch. A lot of times people wear these instead. So alongside on the bottom, you're just going to push this over. These are set where these aren't going to come out unless this rips over time. Then it's done. But this piece right here, you'll notice inside there, will you notice? Are these backwards on this one? Bro, these are... Oh, no, they're not. I'm backwards. Anyway, when you set it, this one will just flow right through, and that'll be normal. This one right here is like, has this little drop-in box, so it will go into this hole here. And then you won't have to worry about it moving because it stays in there. So pretty cool, but easily swapped out. So I did one of them with that on it, and you can see the white goes nicely with it too. So makes it a little bit lighter of a watch at that point too. But same exact build. Everything is exactly the same. Same hand, same second hand. It's kind of tough to see, but I did a red movement holder, and you can barely see it around there. So in certain lights, you can see that it's red back in there. So, but both of these are automatic mechanicals. There is a rotor in the backside. I'm going to hold this one since it's a lot easier to get my hand back in here. That's what I'm used to. Bezel will turn left, it'll turn right. These are tension ring bezels. Automatic mechanical, so you can wind them, wear them, put them in a watch winder. But if they're dead or you're not going to be very active, make sure you wind it just a little bit. And how you do that is you back the crown off the threads to hear it and feel it clicking. And at that point, you can wind. A wind is a turn this way. Turning it towards you doesn't do anything, but it's a lot easier to keep your finger spacing and just go back and forth. If you do this for 4 or 5 seconds, see, I keep getting it, starting to thread it on a little bit, but that's why I go back and forth, because if I start going on, I can back it right back off and just put a little tension on there. So doing this for 4 or 5 seconds before you put it on will keep your time throughout the day, especially if you're not going to be as active. If you're not going to be active at all, make sure you do it for another 10 seconds or so and max out your 31-hour power reserve on it. You don't want to put it on and then lose time because you're not moving that rotor enough to keep it wound. So, that said, when you are happy with your winding, you're going to pull it to the one and only click, and you can now set your time. Does not have a hacking movement, so it's going to keep going on you. You'll also notice you got a little bit of a wobble crown here. This deflects lateral pressure from going into the stem and into the movement, so when you're pushing and prying on it, it is rolling with it. It's not putting pressures on the movement or the keyless works. Okay, Google, what time is it? 1:47 p.m. Just push it over, get it out of that time setting, and then wind it down. Just show you doing the same thing on this watch here. I opened this watch up just a little bit earlier to hit it with some canned air and then swap over this to this for some pictures, and forgot to go back and set the time. So 1:47, right? That's what it was. I think so. Didn't hold on there. It's tight, but it's not like crazy tight. You can probably just give it a good pull and it comes right off. But I don't know if there was a nice smooth way to do it. I don't really think so, because I mean it's just a piece of this rubber is down in there. So you just might have to manhandle it a little bit. But these are both builds, sir. I'll put it on stainless. I'll probably put it on the side, you know, like, because if you put it this way, there's a lot of dangle, you know, because this isn't sized yet. So a lot of times I'll put it on the rectangle side of it and just put it in that way so that it, you know, doesn't move around as much. But both of these will come with watch foamer. This is a cleaner, good for all glass and metal, so this watch as a whole. Non-streaking, non-toxic, non-residue, as well as a microfiber. Now, if you want to clean these, use like soapy water. And if you ever feel that they don't feel as slicky, literally it's kind of like tires. Just soak them in water for a bit. Like, they need to be like moisturized, essentially. And then lastly, you're going to have some fine scratch remover. This is Novus 2 from Amazon, just repackaged into these little containers. It's basically like a poly watch, and it's for your acrylic glass because you can scratch it. But if you do, no big deal. Put a tiny bit of this on it and buff it out with your color matching microfiber. If the scratch is up and down, just go left and right, fill in that scratch and buff that out. If it's still there, wait a little bit, let that solidify, and then build another layer up of acrylic, or you know, whatever you're filling that scratch in with, this material. So I guess you're not rebuilding the acrylic, you're just filling it. But that's it. I hope you love it, man. I hope your dad loves it. Thank you so much for thinking of me and trusting me to build something for you. And if you want me to build you something custom and unique, reach out. I'll see what I can do. And if you want to continue to see videos like this, like and subscribe, as I put them up all the time. Thanks, guys.